Hello there. I'm Lyndon Thorpe, and I'm the host of this 13 event series, The Millionaire Mindset Breakthrough. Welcome if you've registered for this event. I'm still expecting some people to join us in the studio, but we'll get started anyway. And so today, our title is Resilience. Okay, we're looking at the phenomenon of resilience. Now, this word is very, very common. I'll just get my little notes here. It's a very common word, resilience. But, what does it mean? It seems to people to mean strength, um, energy. Well, tonight I'm going to tell you today I'm in Japan, so it's nighttime here. It's 10 o'clock at night, but it's only lunchtime in GMT. So forgive me, I'm a little confused with time zones. But yeah, I'm going to open up the whole question of resilience and tell you exactly what it is. 2 years ago, maybe you've heard this story before, forgive me if I'm repeating. I try to tell it differently each time. But 2 years ago, I retired from public life as an educator, which I've been involved in all my life, mindful educator, latterly. And I started to wonder what I was going to do with the rest of my life. It's an amazing feeling when you retire from having held down a job for many, many years. I won't tell you how many years, but it's a lot of years. And then suddenly you have no moments, you have no duty, uh, pulls on your energy and your time. And so, yes, for the first few months, I was really lucky. I was, listless, restless. Then gradually I began to settle down and started to think logically about what I was going to do. Of course, I always have books. I'm a writer, and there is always something to write into problem. Filling my time was not a problem, but money was a problem. I only had a small pension, not small, medium pension. And I wanted to travel. I wanted to do lots of things, but I didn't want to um, eat into my savings. So I started to think about what I could do. And the first idea that came to me really was, yes, I'd like to make a lot of money. I'd like to be a millionaire. We joke about it, but I was not joking. I was serious. And so I started to look around for a mentor. And yeah, you may think, how did you do that? Well, it was simple. I just went to Google, I typed in millionaire mentor, and the first entry was the mentor that I've been with now for the last year. I've just graduated from working with him. His name is Michael Cheney. He's taught me so much. But now I'm on my own. I've graduated. I'm a master mentor. He's handed over his legacy to me and not doing the same thing. I'm mentoring people who want to do something amazing with their lives and perhaps do not have the money, the opportunity, the environment to do that. And so I've developed several programs, which I'll be talking about in a moment, that will allow anybody to make a living from the internet. I've got the techniques, I've got the mindset shifts we need, and I can promise you I will mentor anybody to break through that shell, to break out of that poverty mindset, to break away from the stresses and strains of their environment if they're constrained by that environment, and step into the limelight of the internet as a business owner, a website owner, a domain holder, and a wealthy person who is working to generate income on the internet. So it's a very, very exciting journey. And I'd like to tell you that it's not only exciting, it's very hard. I'm not going to pull the wool over your eyes. It is hard if you make a commitment to this. And I did over a year ago, 100% commitment to it. We're just welcoming a guest here. Elena, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Hello there. Hi. Thanks so much. Now, this is Natasha, my trusty assistant, and I'm Lyndon Thorpe.
Hi, you're doing great, Linda.
We've spoken on the internet. I know we've exchanged messages and so on. I'm so glad you could make it. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
I'm just starting up telling my story, which I'm not going to repeat. You'll have to watch the replay, but you've probably heard it before. It's, you know, how I've, in the last year, really, I've become a millionaire mentor, and I'm building my own businesses. They're growing steadily. And I come into this role as a retired teacher. I've never had anything to do with business before. And although it's interesting that here in Japan, I've been in Japan for the last 20 years. Here in Japan, I've been teaching business studies, advanced business studies to university students, but only the theory. So I've got all the theory, but I've never been in business myself. So it's been an amazing journey. And I'm now in the position where I can share it. I've just graduated as a mentor from Michael Cheney, who was my mentor. And now I'm in a position to mentor other people. So that's briefly, so that's a summary, Elena. Today, our topic for event 10, and there are 13 events in this series, and each one is really key to the final condition where we actually step into the role we need to step into to start to run a business successfully and to make income. One of the problems that I'm sure you're familiar with, Elena, is keeping going. You know, there are ups and downs, there are problems, there are setbacks, there are financial problems, there are many things to consider when we start out on this journey. And in order to keep going, and I'm proud to say I've kept going every single day for the last year and a bit, building content, getting my audience together, never having one single day off. And we can't afford to do that, can we, when we're building something that is so important. So this is a really important thing. I'm sure you've got questions and comments. Let me share my presentation with you first, and then let's chat. And if any questions or any thoughts while I give this short presentation, please jot them down and we'll talk again in a moment. Okay, I'll share my screen. Here we are. Let me just get this going. Just move things around a little bit. Okay. Okay, there we are. Super. So, yes, I've just been talking about setbacks. There are many. And it's really distressing to hear that last year, 2024, out of all the new businesses that set up online, only 4% survived. 96% gave up. And I would like to suggest that's because they didn't have resilience. So event 10 is about resilience, and truly it's a millionaire's secret weapon. During my time as a mentee with a multimillionaire, I've researched millionaires, all of them. I know all of their stories, and they will all tell you that resilience is your number one strength, and the ability to bounce back is so important. So we have to learn how to transform setbacks into success. Today's event 10, I'm Lyndon Thorpe, I'm a master mentor. And I'd like to start by asking you some questions, all of you out there, and Elena in the studio, and Natasha. Some reflective questions. I find this is really good to get the creative juices going. And the first one is, what recent setback taught you the most about your resilience? Okay, so I'm assuming you've had setbacks. I think they are natural and inevitable in life, because we have expectations, and maybe those expectations are not met, and so then we're disappointed. Well, that's one of the major setbacks, disappointment. And disappointment can be crippling. It can really change people totally and force them to give up what they're doing because they're not good enough, they feel. So think about the recent setback and how did that teach you about your resilience? Question 2, which negative mindset do you recognize most strongly in yourself? Hopefully you don't have any negative mindsets, but that is rare. I'm one of the lucky ones. I don't have any negativity because I'm a very committed Buddhist and have been all my life. And we have many strategies and techniques to overcome all that negativity. But yeah, most people I know can be very negative about things. So what about you? Do you have negative moments? If you do, just think about those for a moment. And then thirdly, what immediate action could you take to strengthen your resilience? Now, if you're in business or if you've done any training of any kind, you probably have strategies and techniques. And I'm really interested to talk to you about that later. And I really want to know if they are successful for you. So those are the 3 questions I feel will just get you into the right mood to talk about this when I've just given you my ideas. So moving on, yeah, we all know about the common negative syndromes. They're so well advertised, sadly. And I have a problem with this because many of these so-called syndromes are not really syndromes. They're not indelibly established in one's psyche. They are very transient and can change overnight. So we've got imposter syndrome. This is really one of the dominant ones at the moment, where you doubt yourself. Why do we do that? But people do, and people give up because of this. They're just not good enough in their own eyes. Scarcity mindset. Yeah, many people think we don't have enough of anything, that things will run out, and particularly money. Many people have a scarcity mindset about money. And if you think about your family and your childhood, you may remember that parents seem to think it's their duty to make their children save money, and really develop quite a fear about it. I certainly had very strong conditioning about money. And I began to hate it when I was a child because we were not rich and we were always worried about it and so on. So scarcity mindset's a big problem. Money guilt syndrome. Now, this is the other end of the spectrum, feeling guilty about having wealth when others are so poor. Well, two of my programs will deal with all of these things. I'll tell you about those in a moment. And then finally, burnout syndrome. As you probably know, this is a kind of exhaustion, which I think I touched on a little bit after I'd retired. But really, now I know for sure, it's lack of awareness, it's lack of self-awareness, actually. And like all the other syndromes and mindsets, you can check. So we've got imposter syndrome, where we are hiding behind some kind of mask. We don't think we're good enough, just as we are. We've got scarcity mindset. There's never enough of anything. The glass is always half empty, not half full. Money guilt syndrome, which is really much stronger than I thought before I did a lot of research into this. People feel guilty about money. Yeah. And then finally, burnout syndrome. And this is so common now. All of these are pretty common. So how can we deal with them? Let's move on. As a mindful educator, then I would say that the greatest solution to all of these so-called syndromes and negative mindsets is mindfulness. And on LinkedIn, I run mindlessness. I call it mindlessness because mindfulness is what we want to get away from. I run mindlessness sessions on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I've just finished this one, number 2, just before my event. And this is getting more and more popular now on LinkedIn. And people are realizing just how key it is to build resilience. Mindfulness or mindlessness provides awareness, clarity, and balance. Maybe you think mindfulness is about relaxing, switching off, resting. No, the opposite is true. It is about heightening your awareness. And we do that through a meditation procedure. And we go into our internal world. And that is where we encounter reality. It's the only reality. And there also we contact our true nature. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. The other thing about this is that it helps you to identify your emotions and your emotional responses. We are highly emotional beings if we leave our minds untamed. In Buddhism, we talk about the wild horse of the mind, and the Buddhist teachings will tame that wild horse. The mind will run riot if we let it. Okay. Then we have the added problem of patterns. We've been conditioned all our lives by our social groups and communities and families and cultures. And those patterns are embedded in our minds. And it's very hard to break through them. The only way I have found of ever doing this, I'm a hypnotherapist, I'm an Alexander teacher. I've done so much exploration into why we get stuck in these negative patterns during my life. And the answer I've come up with at this stage in my dotage is mindlessness or mindfulness. It's the only way. And then finally, it empowers you to move beyond your limiting beliefs because you're drawing on your own resources, going inside and drawing on your storehouse of amazing resources. And that means you're cutting away from all the beliefs which are outside, which are imposed upon you, which are external. By going inside, you can get away from those invisible barriers that we create with the wild mind, the untamed mind. So I've got a 3-step mindfulness process. It's very simple to remember. 3 A's: awareness, acceptance, and action. So being aware, clearly recognizing and identifying your emotional state. Is it anger? Is it frustration? Is it sadness? Then accepting this without judging. And then the third way is to move quickly into action. Yeah, action is the key to everything. If you stay stuck thinking, circulating negative thoughts, then you'll never ever get anywhere. But jumping out of that loop, that vicious circle, into action will change everything. And you become intentional, and those intentions can be aligned with your values and your goals, your mindful goals. So I teach mindful goal setting to people, which is very different to SMART and all the external goals. They are internal. Awareness, acceptance, and action. Very powerful 3 A's. There's a reminder. And then finally, commitment. Yeah, so we've got action, and then we've got the power of committing, as I did over a year ago, 100% to my goals. The passion that you have for your endeavor, whatever it is, your niche, your organization, your NGO, whatever it is you're creating, ignites the journey. But without commitment, you'll never complete it. Okay? You need the passion, but then you have to graduate to the commitment, which will keep those fires burning for you. This kind of commitment, which is rock solid, cannot be moved, ensures resilience through all of the setbacks and the adversity that you will face. We can't avoid it, but we can reframe the setbacks and the adversity, and commitment will go a long way to helping you to do that. And yeah, the Millionaire Commitment Path, this is one of my programs, and this is unwavering dedication towards those goals. And those goals are set very carefully internally to be in alignment with your values. So to make 100% commitment, you need to really know yourself. The only way you can really know yourself is through mindfulness and through really getting into touch with your true nature, which perhaps and probably you are disconnected from. So how do we build a resilient mindset holistically? Okay, well, there are 4 ways we can do this. Gratitude. I'm sure you've heard this. This is a very popular, fashionable thing at the moment. However, I'm finding that people's take on gratitude is not quite right in many cases. So I will elaborate on that at some point with you. Establishing mindful habits. We covered these things in earlier events. In event 8, we established mindful habits, and this will help maintain resilience. Networking, we covered this last week in event 9, getting the right people around you gaining support and sharing knowledge. And in series, all of these events, all 13 of these events, are designed to create a resilience blueprint, which you'll be able to use to make your success. So all of these 4 things are really important. As a little reminder. And Elena, don't worry too much, because these are in the handout, which you'll be getting, not a handout, but the downloadable PDF. So you're taking notes very seriously. Well, thank you for doing that. It shows great respect. But yeah, all of this will be summarized in the PDF that you'll get after this meeting. Okay, just moving on a little bit, if I can possibly move on. Yeah, so one of the great insights from the Buddhist teachings, which I can say has made me 100% committed over the last year, despite problems and setbacks. And in fact, for much longer than that, I've been practicing this for a long time, is to be a river. Not to sit by the side of a river, but to actually be the river. You are the river. You flow like the river. And you adopt this river philosophy. You flow on continuously, and you adapt to all the obstacles. So you flow over the rocks, around the rocks, and you keep flowing. And even in drought conditions, rivers never stop flowing, as you probably know. They go underground, but they continue to flow magnetically towards the ocean. And we can embrace resilience by keeping this mindful momentum going, the river flowing on. So if anybody says to me, oh, I don't know what to do, I can't get past this problem, what shall I do? So I immediately do a river meditation with them. You become the river. You are the river of life. Water flows where it will, when it will, and it flows into every crevice. So water is a huge symbol for flow and success, and rivers are the most wonderful thing, most wonderful metaphor to use. So just touching briefly on this wealth guilt problem, I've had many insights to this from people I've spoken to recently. How do we overcome this idea that here we are trying to attract wealth when there are some people dying of hunger not so far away, or, you know, living in refugee camps with no future ahead of them at all? We have to resolve this problem, because if we are not in that position, in that awful position of poverty or war zone problems or whatever it is, then we have the power to help those people to create a life, a bright future, a legacy. And so I've devised another program, which is called the Legacy Partnership, which talks about impactful living. And there are 3 stages. The first is to ensure that, first of all, you are satisfied. Now, I'm afraid many people teach that we should sacrifice that and think of others first. If you don't think of yourself first, then how can you be of use to others? How can you inspire them if you are not yourself inspired? You can pretend, but that will not make you successful or anybody else successful. So inner satisfaction for yourself, being enough for you before you start to think about others, is the first step. Then you've got to acquire digital skills, and you've got to position yourself efficiently and effectively. And finally, you've got to think about all the underprivileged individuals in the world, there are still 3.5 billion people not online with no digital skills. Even here in Japan, there are still several million people who do not have digital skills. We have a high-tech profile, but Japan is not high-tech really at all in real life. So we need to think about mentoring the underprivileged and empowering their futures through our success. So if we can attract wealth and be successful, then we can empower others. And that's just what my Legacy Partnership Program does. And the third thing we can do is to experience a fulfillment we could never have imagined through making this kind of meaningful contribution to the world and to the global community. And it's certainly my mission to do this. I'm moving in bigger and bigger circles, communicating with the right people. On Friday night, I'm sitting on a panel discussion with several very distinguished academics, with Dr. Joseph Nwaye, who is the president of SDIG here on LinkedIn, and also in the States, in the universities in the States. I'm sitting on a panel and I'm going to be putting this recipe into their laps, and I'm going to be negotiating the legacy partnership with them to get in touch with all the people who need our help. Exercise for us to do. And, you know, we may not do it because when I finish this presentation, maybe I'll talk to Elena. But if you'd like to make a note of it, it's a really good thing to do. Write down something that has held you back recently, some disappointment, some failure, something, and then try to focus on the emotions that you really felt during that. Give them a name: fear, disappointment, hopelessness, etc. Then, if you close your eyes, you can accept the aspects of this situation that were beyond your control. We don't work in a vacuum. Whatever we do is influenced by many other people. We're all connected. The chains are incredible and infinite. We are connected. And so we're not in a vacuum being successful. There are external factors, and they're often beyond our control. A simple one is trying to market something. If you want to put a product on the market, if it's not the right product, that's out of your control in many ways. You then have to go back and try again. Trial and error will find the right market often. And then the next thing to do, once you've accepted that these aspects are outside your control, often, then you need to make an actionable plan, write down specific achievable steps to move forward. And very often, I don't know if any of you do this or Elena does it, writing a journal of some kind about what you're doing in a reflective way, in a relaxed way, at the end of the day, for example, is often very effective to get you in touch with your emotions and move you forward. And writing down is a very heart-filled activity anyway, not typing, but writing in a notebook is always very effective, because we're using the arm, which attaches into the heart. The nerve connections and the muscles and ligaments, we write from the heart. So writing in a journal with a pen or pencil is very effective. Oh, now I offer various resources, which I've mentioned during this presentation. Many of them are free. I've got some videos, training videos, and they are free, and they also will be accessed from joining my email list. I run webinars. I'm running one on Saturday and Sunday this coming week. It's called the One Day Digital Breakthrough. It will give many people a free website, a free domain, and the basics of digital literacy if they don't have it. And I'm working with many underprivileged people and privileged people all coming together on these webinars. So that is digital training. I'm a mentor. I'm a master mentor now. And I offer a program called the Millionaire Commitment Path, which will guide you through three tiers of commitment to your future and your wealth and your success. And then finally, as I've mentioned before, I've got the Legacy Partnership, which is about handing over wealth to underprivileged people. And not only wealth, but skills, mindsets, in fact, mentoring others to do what you have done. So there's a lot to go at here. And yeah, if you join my email list, you'll get insider strategies and networking secrets and all manner of things. So each event I offer has a free downloadable resource. This is the flipbook, which you will get in the follow-up email, which has a lot of information, including the list of events in it. This is the Escape the 9-to-5 Grind e-workbook. It's a live workbook. You have to pay for this. You buy the license, but all the event materials are in it. And of course, I can go into much more detail in a live ebook than I can in a 45-minute session online. I've got a Mindful Goals e-template I've developed, and you can download this to really get in touch with your mindful goals. And then today I've developed something called the Resilience Reflection Journal, which is a downloadable. And in this journal, you can start to write about your resilience. So there's a lot of information there. I'm sorry, there's a lot I want to communicate, but your next steps probably, if this is ringing bells with you, is to register today to fully master these resilience strategies, or to connect with me personally so I can mentor you and support you. And you can do that through my Calendly link. I'm offering a free Zoom session with anybody who would like to talk to me, and I can really point you in the right direction and talk about your next steps. And then finally, commit to your resilience journey, and then leave a legacy, which will get rid of all the guilt, the money guilt syndromes and imposter syndromes. If we spend less time thinking about how we feel and put our energy into providing things for how other people who are desperately in need of our help feel, I think these psychological syndromes would not exist. Anyway, there we are. Let me come back to you. And thank you very much for staying with me during that presentation. I hope there was some value. So Elena, please, yes, on mic. How are you?
Yeah, Linda, thank you so much. I really enjoyed your presentation. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You hear me, Natasha? Yes?
Maybe it's my problem. There we
Yes,
are.
I can hear you, Elena.
Yes, can
I
you
can
hear
hear
me
Yes.
now?
No.
No, Lyndon,
Can
you
you
cannot
speak?
hear me?
No. Something. Oh, wait a moment. There we are. Sorry, my
Can you hear
problem.
us now?
Yes, I can.
Can you
Yeah.
hear me now?
Yes, I can. I'm sorry.
Yes.
My problem. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, Lyndon. Yes, you
Good.
did amazing presentation. Really, I want to acknowledge you. It was so good. Yes, I really enjoyed it. It was very well structured. Yes, very deep. You addressed the deep root causes. Yes, because all the results caused by us. Yes, come from us, from within. Yes, I really enjoyed. Thank you so much. Yes,
Oh, it's my
like
pleasure.
the
My
way,
pleasure.
yeah, and the way you presented also was very good, like paced and good tonality. So you got
Oh, thank
my
you.
highest mark.
Oh, that's really kind. Thank you very much indeed. So, Elena, how about you? What about your resilience? Do you have problems with resilience?
I think that resilience is my strong character.
Great. Tell us your secret.
My secret is that my life experience, I went through so many challenges, and to stay alive and survive and stay in good mental health, I have to build resilience. Yes. And I think that everyone can do that. And what I can share, if you ask my secret, so it is
Yes.
secrets. It is not secret, but it is understanding that we can be beyond physical reality. We, in our subconscious mind, we can create new image what we want to have, and we can, in our conscious mind, we can accept or reject. For example, something happening, and it is our choice to accept it or reject. We can say that yes, this is happening now, but where I want to be. And instead of being present in a problem, we can get ourselves out of that and see ourselves in future. So it is our choice not to be involved emotionally. Yes, because we live in this world, physical world, but it is, our world is like a simulation, right? Our world is not real.
Yes. No.
Something that's happening is happening because of our previous decisions, assumptions, actions, or maybe other people, right? For example, the war. I came from Ukraine after the war started, and it was just airport was bombed just near our house, uh, 2 kilometers far from our house,
Oh dear.
and we had to leave quickly. We left in half an hour, and I have to relocate myself, my small daughter, my mother, who was 78, we didn't know where we are going. We left everything behind. But at that moment, I couldn't just sit and think like why the war happened, why I'm so like to have that victim. I had to make decisions to myself, to my family, and move ourselves.
Mm.
And I went to unknown. We came from nothing with documents only to totally new country, and we didn't know where we are going. Like, we moved 3 countries till we came to UK, and now I live in Brighton, and I started from scratch everything. So yes,
Wow.
so when we speak about resilience, oh,
Yeah.
this is
You you know exactly what resilience is. Yes.
yes,
You
now
in
I
fact,
understand.
maybe we can say you invented it. Yeah, wow.
Yes, yes, we invent our own resilience every time, and we what helps us is that at that moment I thought what I can do instead, why this happened and why this and that, or why we
Mm,
can do. I thought
mm,
what I can do in this moment. I took
mm,
actions, I took my family out, and every time and where you are, you think what I can do next, what I can
mm,
do next. And you
mm.
can only do that when you can create a picture where you want to be. So I created picture that I want to live in England, I want to speak on stages, I want to have my own company, and this is what I am now. And
Wow.
yes,
Superb.
so thinking from the end, I would add to what you shared. I would at this point, thinking from the end, thinking from where you want to be, being learning that skill to detach from current situation, learning
Yes,
skill to keep your goal where you want. If in like that time, of course, I didn't have goal to live in England, but when this happened, I immediately said what I want, what I want my life. Yes, England. We go England. I will be. I open company there. I will speak on stages. I will do workshops. And this is how it is now. Everything what I decided that moment now is my life.
excellent. Oh, I'm so admiring of you. You know, adversity is one of the most powerful things because, you know, all of the mental habits I was mentioning during my short presentation, those ingrained habits that we get from our conditioning, from our, you know, our way of living, our culture often, they are so difficult to move, to shift. And I'm finding this so much with the people I'm working with. You know, they cannot look into the future. They are frozen in a state of fear or a state of depression, so much depression around. And they can't take action. They're kind of paralyzed by their own mental wiring. But as in your situation, if you are thrown into a dilemma, which is life and death, such as yours, then you have to shift. You have to jump out of it. So in many ways, I'm finding that people are too comfortable. They have too many conveniences. They've not had enough challenges in their lives to actually make any inroads into shifting their mindset. So that's why we have to develop all of these mindset strategies to, you know, jolt them into taking action. But yeah, clearly you are the proof of the theory that action is what we need. We can theorize and dream our lives away, but it won't make anything happen. We have to just get out there. Yeah.
Yes, Lyndon, yes. And another thing, what I would add also to your list of
Yeah,
these
please.
bullet points for resilience is embracing challenges to create that attitude. Attitude is everything. Attitude is everything. So when we create the attitude that we embrace challenges, we embrace problems, because we understand that challenges are given to us and for us, not against us. Any challenge we can convert to positive. If we look for positive, we will find that. It doesn't matter what the situation, in my case, even war. Of course, there is nothing positive in the war, but I cannot change the war. But what I can change my attitude and see this is the situation. Yes, we have accept this is happening. What I can do the best for myself and for my family in this situation.
Yeah.
And the attitude that, again, from understanding the loss, I think that the big part of every program like this should be understanding the laws. When people understand that we live according to the universal laws, and one of the law, for example, that there is the law of opposite, that there is the same equivalent of positive in every negative and the same equivalent of negative in every positive. Yes, we have cold and
Yeah.
hot, left and right, up and down. Everything has positive and negative. So when we embrace the challenges and when we understand if the bigger challenge, it means that we will grow the biggest from it.
Yeah.
So this is like if
Absolutely.
we,
Yeah.
yes, if we cultivate this attitude to embrace challenges, it means that we will grow, we will benefit from every situation. And when we look back, we will say how good that happened. Any situation, I mean, that this happened because now I am here. If this didn't happen, I wouldn't be the person who I am today. I wouldn't sit and speak to you if that didn't happen. I would be in different place doing different things.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Everything you say is perfect. In fact, we complement each other really well, I think.
Yeah.
I'm very interested in the spiritual, in the other side of the coin of attitudes. So attitudes are the psychological face of that of the coin of human endeavors. But the other side is the spiritual side. And in fact, I'm, as I've mentioned, I'm very much what shall I say, very much motivated by the Buddhist teachings. And I am really keen to touch people's spirituality and to help them to touch it. Spirituality is just like voodoo to many people, they won't go near it. And so I created these events to try and bring some of those spiritual ideas into the open.
Very good, very good.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
in
people
fact, it's really
want.
interesting. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment what you just said, that people are so much in this 3D. They are dwelling in physical and they get information only from five senses, ability to see, hear, smell, taste, and touch. And they don't use their middle potential, that is intellect, and that is spiritual, this is ability to think. And they think that those thoughts, which are robotic thoughts, programs which are running autopilot, they think that this is their thing. But even today, I had also another event, and I told them that 100 years ago, Napoleon Hill wrote the book Outwitting the Devil. And 100 years ago, in that book, he wrote that only 2% of people think, 3% think that they think, and 95% would rather die than think.
Yes.
And this statistic didn't change 100 years. Now it is the same. Now it is the same. People don't think and they just live reacting to this physical reality. They live in this lowest, our potential plane that is physical, and they don't get higher than that. This is the problem.
This is the
This is
problem.
how, yes. So I really appreciate what you do. You do amazing job that moving people to that mindfulness and spirituality. And I would really love to see you in our panel discussions. We do panel discussions every 2 weeks.
Oh,
And yes, and we can speak. You get on panel discussion with other experts discussing topics from different perceptions. It is such a mastermind. And then we promote it, and so many more people will see you and know what
super.
to do.
Super. I'd love to. Yes, please invite me. I'd love to. Yes. Yes, I'm getting invited more and more to discussions
Yeah,
through
you're
the
amazing. You're
work I'm
amazing.
doing. Yes, please invite me. Anyway, you can contact me by DM on LinkedIn.
Yes, yes, I will contact you. I have to leave now. Thank you so much, Lyndon. I really enjoyed and I appreciate what you do. It is amazing.
Thank
And I
you.
love everything what you shared. And I wish you success, and we'll speak soon.
Thank you, Elena, very much indeed. And I'll be in touch with you. Thank you so
Okay,
much
you're
for
most
coming.
welcome. You're
Okay,
most welcome.
take care.
Bye-bye, Natasha.
Bye-bye.
Yes, all the best.
Bye-bye. Okay, well, that was wonderful to have Elena here to get a perspective from her amazing situation. What a story. I knew her story actually before she arrived here, but I was so glad she told everybody about it. So we've got a living Ukraine survivor here who has just picked herself up, created a company, and she herself is doing amazing work on LinkedIn. So that is wonderful. So thank you so much for attending today. You'll be receiving a follow-up mail. It will contain a flip book. If I just share my screen again and just show you, you will be, here we are. Oh, now let me see if I can find my, just escape from here. Just give me one moment. Here we are. Yes, so Clive Grind flip book is really good. You'll get the link to it. It will be about me, these programs I'm running, and it will also give you this the events we're running. We're on event 10, resilience, and next week is health and wealth. So we're looking at the physical state and how important it is to keep your mind healthy. That will affect your physical well-being. And then we move on to abundance. And finally, the blueprint is ready. So yes, I should stress that all 13 events are really key to the whole blueprint. If you haven't seen all the events, then please do visit YouTube and you'll be able to find the full events there. And if you need help looking back at events, it's a really good idea to look at the live workbook here. And you can buy it from this guide. It's a living record. It's a lifetime license, actually. And everything is contained in it. Videos, audio, text, images, you name it. It's all in there. So you can go into depth into each key theme, which will create the blueprint. And there are trainings you can read about, 5 video training, and then find these websites, contact me on these websites and see what else I'm doing. All of these websites are connected to wealth attraction, and one is a Buddhist site. So they're really quite interesting. And then also, sorry, here we are. Today, you will get this downloadable. Sorry, I can't get it into a big version than this, but it's called the Resilience Reflection Journal. And you'll be able to work through it with quotations and a strategy to assess your resilience level, affirmations on each step, and Audible can actually type into us here, and really it will help you to connect with your thoughts about this. So you'll get a link to this also up email, and you'll be able to register for future events and to contact me if you need to. So yes, you can easily get my Calendly, which is in the flip book, and book an appointment with me. And I will be able to talk more about your next steps and get you motivated and get you thinking about commitment. So thank you so much for attending today. And I hope you'll come to next week's event, which is about an abundant mindset. That's what Elena was talking about. The abundance mindset is the opposite of the negative one. And it's a law. There are laws of attraction, like equals like, and so on. Anyway, I'll be talking more about that next week. So thank you so much and see you soon. I hope that you are fully resilient. Thank you very much.